Welcome to the Daily Dizzle. It's Wednesday, July 13th, 2011. Tommy Dizzlemits here as always. Let's jump right into the news. We told you yesterday that there were rumors the Dark Knight Rises trailer was going to be popping up by the weekend. Now news coming out from the UK is that they've actually already been screening the trailer, which has led to a cell phone bootleg quality version of it hitting the internet. And if you want to wait until the weekend to see the real thing, that's probably the best option. Otherwise, you'll be complaining that, oh, it doesn't look as cool as everyone's saying it does. Obviously, if it's a bootleg, it's going to suck on some level. But it's kind of interesting considering that the UK didn't have the under lock and key. Like American movie theaters are currently waiting for the combination to unlock it before Harry Potter comes out on Friday. So even though it might be very tempting to check out the bootleg, Warner Brothers has been very good about sending out things as soon as they are available to anyone. Like when E.T. posted the first trailer footage last night, it's already up online, the full-length trailer for Sherlock Holmes 2. So you gotta imagine that Warner Brothers, as soon as Harry Potter's opening day begins and it's kind of official that people are starting to see the first trailer for The Dark Knight Rises, you can almost expect it to be up on iTunes. Not that day, definitely by the end of the weekend. On the reboot side of things, two 80s classics that are moving closer and closer to finally getting the reboots done are Evil Dead and RoboCop. Let's start with RoboCop. Captain Kirk himself from the last Star Trek movie, Chris Pine. You might also recognize him from Unstoppable with Denzel Washington. Looks like currently he's being eyed for the role of RoboCop himself. Could be good, could be bad. A lot of people kind of want to see a muscle-head, bulky guy like a Vin Diesel or The Rock in that role. Meanwhile, the studio wants someone who will put lots of people in the seats who looks good and will bring in like a girl audience. So obviously Captain Kirk is not the worst decision in the world. Meanwhile, on the Evil Dead side of things, Sam Raimi is not going to be directing this iteration of Evil Dead as he is stuck working on Oz the Great and Powerful. However, one of his longtime collaborators is going to be helping out with it. Bruce Campbell, the original Ash himself, has been talking it up on Twitter as well. So it seems like we are actually closer than ever before to the remake. As much as some people might be upset because the originals hold such dear places in their heart, anything Evil Dead is something I will take. Even if it's a shitty video game or a shitty remake, if it's Evil Dead, I'm going to go watch it. And finally, the summer of 2011 has been a renaissance of sorts for the R-rated comedy genre. Just look at Bad Teacher and Horrible Bosses. Despite not being huge success stories, both opened about $30 million and have both made their budgets back and continue to make money. On top of that, you've got Bridesmaids and The Hangover Part 2 being the huge success stories of the summer. Now, in years past, it seems like a lot of movies that were PG-13 comedies were originally intended to be R-rated and just had to have a few bits chopped out, because sometimes when you're aiming at that high school audience who wants the toilet humor, if you put too much toilet humor into it, you're pushing it into that more mature territory. If that doesn't make sense, it's not supposed to. It's the MPAA we're talking about. Their ratings don't make sense half the time. That's why you have movies from the 80s that were rated PG that show tits in them. That's not the point we're trying to make. There's a movie coming out in the next couple weeks, The Change Up, with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, where they switch bodies. One's a slacker, one's a decent person, and oh no, we're stuck in each other's bodies. Same thing as any other body switch comedy. Commercials have been starting to air, and they were originally saying that it wasn't rated. You could kind of tell they were going for probably a PG-13 or in that range if they were expecting success. Considering Ryan Reynolds had The Proposal, which made over $100 million at the PG-13 rating, and Jason Bateman's success stories aren't as numerous. But you look at his PG-13 movies like The Switch with him and Jennifer Aniston versus his R-rated movies like Extract with him in leading role exclusively. Yeah, you can kind of tell that he at least makes a little bit more in PG-13 movies. However, with all the other movies that have come out that were R-rated that still managed to be success stories, it's official as of today that the rating has been released, and the change-up will be going with an R rating. Now it just remains to be seen whether or not the rating was awarded because too much of the material would have had to have been cut to get it down to a PG-13, or if this is the studio's cheap way of cashing in on the goodwill of R-rated comedies this summer. That's all the time we've got for today's Daily Dizzle. We do thank you guys for joining us here as always. Be sure to check back tomorrow. We'll come up with some more shit to talk about. So, for the Daily Dizzle, I'm Tommy Dizzlemits. We'll see you back here on Thursday.